We are now getting so close to the end of the year, and I thought I'd make a horse. I'd make all horses, that's what I wrote in the script. We are now getting so close to the end of the year, and I thought I'd make a video about the horses you need before the end of 2022. Of course, these are all of my own personal preferences, and at the end of the day, it is your star coins, your money, and you need to buy the horses that you really want. With 11 weeks left in the year, if your only star coin income is from the weekly allowance, and we do usually get some star coins around Christmas time anyways, assuming the average horse amount is 900 star coins, you could buy 1.2 horses. Don't ask me how the 0.2 would work. Imagine Star Stable let us do this. Yes, please. I'll have the left ear, thank you. I have to be honest with you guys, I scripted this video 4 months ago and somehow it kept getting lost in my sea of content to make. So unfortunately, it's not as complete as I wanted it to be, as you can only buy 1 horse versus the 4 that I actually had planned. But anyways, at the end of this video, I will also be giving just a few really quick and brief and very random tips on a couple of ways to help save your star coins. The first horse on this list is the Halloween horses. Obviously, if you are not a fan of the previous ones, then maybe you should skip over this one. But with Halloween here right now, if you are fortunate enough to currently have the star coins and want either the old or the new ones, like seriously, have you seen these horses? Then maybe, sometimes you should impulse buy a horse and think consequences later. Okay, really, if you don't have the star coins yet, or you are not 100% sure whether you're going to regret buying a Halloween horse, especially with Christmas just around the corner, let me just say this. Even if new Halloween horses are released next year, because they probably will be, you can still set aside a budget starting right now over the next 52 weeks to save for either one or even more of the Halloween horses for next year. I know it might suck to hear that and to have to wait, but I just want to try and help cover all the bases, and if that makes you feel better, then yay! Along the similar theme is the Christmas limited time horses as well. Remember that just like Halloween, there are also all of the Christmas horses from previous years that you could buy as well, plus maybe 1 or 2 new more horses, depends on what Star Stable wants to do this year. Christmas is a little further away, so if you already have a few hundred star coins in your bank, then it's worth keeping these horses in mind if you want one, because it might help you keep motivated to save them up. The Christmas horses usually leave just after New Year, so even if you have 0 star coins in the bank account, all hope is not lost yet. Magical horses, depending what they are pretty good for money anyways, as they are kind of like 2 horses in one, but it is pretty common to like one coat better than the other, but unfortunately it's difficult to please absolutely everyone. Every single month we are getting a rotation of magic horses, so if you do have your eye on one of them, then maybe you can also look forward to one of them as well. But maybe magical limited time horses aren't your thing. Well, I still have some ideas for you. If you haven't already, prioritize buying your favorite breed that you are yet to get your hands on. Sometimes it is so easy to get caught up in the newest of the new, the shiniest, sometimes literally, of the hundreds of horses we have in this game, but if you're really in love with that horse from 2020, 2019, or even older, Generation 2 anyone? This is your sign to stop waiting and just buy that horse. Speaking of Generation 2, if they are your cup of tea, whether you genuinely like them or you're a bit of a horse collector like myself, this year we have been seeing many old model horses being retired. They are quite cheap horses at under 500 star coins, so if you want to become a horse collector and have your own piece of Star Stable history, maybe consider dropping a couple of hundred on some horses before they go. With Horses of JORVIK happening every couple of weeks, I actually have no idea what the rate is. I think it might be every second month or so. But with this race comes the discount of the horses featured. Depending on the breed, this can range from just 200 to sometimes 300 to 400 star coins discounted off. Unfortunately, it's almost impossible to know which horses are being discounted next, but what we can assume is that the horses previously featured won't be discounted again anytime soon. So this takes the American Quarter Horse, the Curlies, Ackeltechs, Mawaris, Clydesdales, Frisians, Fjords, JORVIK Wild Horses, and North Swedish horses out of the question. Wow, that's a lot. Buying a horse on a discount is the absolute best time to buy a horse because they are Generation 3 horses, usually around 500 to 700 star coins. This isn't quite as cheap as the Generation 2 horses, but a discounted is a discount and you gotta get those bargains. I've said this before, but I'll say it again. I personally think that saving for a club horse is really important. I'm not saying to jump to buying a new horse immediately because we have all probably been in a club which randomly disbanded the next day, but if you do know that your club is in a very comfortable position, then buying the club horse shows a sense of respect for the club. Although we are really close to the end of the year, a new horse breed, or maybe even two, are still bound to be released. So if buying the newest of the new is your thing, then it is definitely worth saving some star coins for the occasion. I really wanted to add some star coin saving tips at the end of this video, just in case you guys needed a little pick-me-up. I will start off with one of the most annoying responses anyone could give to this question, but in my Star Stable journey, I found that as I got older, I just got better with my money. I no longer felt the absolute overwhelming urge to just buy a horse and spend my star coins on whatever I wanted as soon as I could afford it. And this happened long before I started buying star coins for YouTube videos, just as a disclaimer. I did end up actually saving over 10,000 star coins just by myself with no buying star coins ever. So it just happened over time, which does suck to hear time as a word. Overall, saving star coins is always going to be a self-control kind of thing. You are always accountable for what you buy, but setting up some imaginary boundaries can be useful to some and not so easy for others. Once again, this is not a whole video about saving star coins, but let me know if I should make a video with more in-depth saving tips and tricks. I know it can be tempting to buy lots of clothes, but trust me, horses are more worth it. You can always grind for some JORVIK shillings, but star coins are a much harder game. I want to make a video on making multiple outfits using very little clothing, so let me know if that's something you want to see. This one is pretty niche, but I have heard of people making clubs and disbanding it the next day just to try this all again next Saturday. Don't get me wrong, follow your dreams, but if you notice this is a cycle, well, that's for a different video. Sometimes you end up impulse buying something with your star coins because you've simply been on the game with the temptation for too long. Stop those 2 AM shopping sprees by replacing it with a different game or something else if sleep is out of the question. As with everything, this doesn't work with everyone, but for me, I have the opportunity to play awesome games such as Swim, which has just been released for free. It is a horse mod for Minecraft, so the only thing you need to buy is the one-time purchase of Minecraft Java. Speaking of Swim, I'm currently playing through a survival series with the mod on twitch.tv/JustAnotherPixel, and I'm uploading those live streams to JustAnotherPixel VODs, all in the description, if you miss or don't have Twitch and want to check them out. This depends on your situation. There is always caring for your horses by hand, and not having stable care can really lower your expenses. If you have a racehorse, only feed the horse if you need be. When I was younger, I would binge watch every YouTube video about the horse I was saving up to get my motivation high. There is so much more that I could go into depth with these tips and tricks, and I would love to explain them more because some of them might sound a little bit dumb, but that is all the time that I have for today, unfortunately. But definitely let me know if I should do some more tips for ways to fight the urge to spend all those sweet star coins. Also, let me know if I should be more specific in these videos. I never want to tell you what horse to buy, but if you want me to, I can always make a video about specific horse breeds I recommend. If you did like this video, then if you hit that subscribe button and hit the thumbs up button, then they both support me and shows that you did enjoy it. But there is also my top 5 most expensive horses video. It is currently on the screen where you can click it to go watch it if it does intrigue you, and if you haven't or you want to rewatch it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I love you.